Hey guys, it's me, Steph. I'm in my kitchen today about to cook up some homemade chicken noodle soup. I'm a little bit under the weather, actually we all are. My kids, my husband, we've all had a little bit of a cold over the holidays. So we are gonna try to get better with this homemade chicken noodle soup. We have here some wide egg noodles, just a 12-ounce package. You probably won't need all of this, probably just about maybe 10 ounces or so. We have a lemon, we have salt, pepper, and Italian seasoning. We have chicken stock, we're gonna use 2 of those. And we've got a fresh rotisserie chicken from the grocery store. That's really the best type of chicken for this soup. It keeps it super simple and quick and easy, and the chicken's not dried out, and nobody likes dried out chicken. So I use rotisserie chicken a lot in my recipes. We have some celery and carrots. We're gonna dice those up and I'll show you that in just a minute. But let's put a heavy bottom pot over some medium-high heat. This is my Dutch oven I use for all my soups. And there are my cat and my dog. That's Sugar, that's Cookie. Yes, Sugar Cookie. They're gonna be in the video fighting. Okay, let's get started. Let's move some stuff off my cutting board here. Let's start with the chicken. Okay, let's open this chicken up. Like I said, it's just straight, plain, traditional rotisserie chicken from Walmart. And I'm just gonna use the 2 chicken breasts. Now, if you're gonna double your recipe, all right, let me wash my hands real fast. All right, let's get started. Let me get a bowl here so I can put the chicken in. Let me clean this board off. All right. Okay, you don't need the skin, so let's go ahead and take the skin off. We just want the white meat on the inside. And now these legs here, we can use those later for snacking. I just get on in there. Just get on in there and get that meat out. And we're gonna use every bit of this chicken breast. And I just shred it with my fingers. Just use my thumbs and start pulling it apart. You don't really need a fork for this. It's really easy and simple. And if you're gonna make a small batch of chicken noodle soup, maybe just for yourself or for your spouse, just for 2, then you really only need 1 chicken breast for this. But since I'm making this for a family of 5, I'm gonna go ahead and use both chicken breasts here and shred as much as I can. Put it in this bowl for now. There's lots of recipes I use rotisserie chicken for. I like my chicken tortilla soup. One day I'll show you how to make that. That's one of my favorite soups to make. But since we're all a little bit under the weather, I'm gonna start with some homemade chicken noodle soup. Now, if you don't want to use all this chicken, you don't have to. You can just reserve some of it and save it for tacos later. If you don't want that much chicken in your chicken noodle soup, then just use half of it. It's whatever you like. If you like more chicken in your soup, then go for it. Add it all. Okay, now we're gonna start to dice up our celery. You just need 3 celery stalks here, and I'm gonna cut it in half just to kind of get a little bit smaller dice. So just cut it lengthwise, nothing fancy. The smaller you chop it, the better and faster it's gonna cook in the pot, and it'll be nice and tender. So we're gonna gather them up and just start dicing away. And it doesn't have to be perfect, you just kind of want them all the same size so they can cook evenly. Try not to chop your fingers off. If you're not feeling well like me, you can get kind of tired after a while standing and chopping, but you're just gonna cut the celery up. And make sure you're using a sharp knife. I think my knife is a little bit dull. I'll sharpen it later. Okay, we're gonna get 1 carrot. I've already peeled it. I'm just gonna chop the ends off and cut it lengthwise, and keep cutting it lengthwise so you can get a nice, even, small dice on it. Like I said, you kind of need a sharp knife. The sharper the better, but always be careful. And then we're just gonna gather them all up. I think that looks about right. Try to keep it the same size as how you chop the celery. Just a small dice. We want it all to cook evenly in the pot. Now I can see here that these pieces are looking a little bit too thick the farther we go down. So let me see. I'm gonna cut this one again lengthwise so I can get a smaller dice. This one too. There we go. Looks about right. All right, get that one. There we go. Just 1 carrot is all you need. I mean, you wouldn't think 1 carrot would be enough, but it's plenty. My kids love carrots. Put some good vegetables in there in your soup and help you feel better. All right, let's see. I'm gonna make sure that's nice and even. Didn't have to be perfect, but if you're like me, I like everything to be similar in size when it comes to taking a bite. You don't want a big old thick chunk of carrot in one bite and it not be fully cooked and still too hard or crunchy. So that's why I'm just taking my time, making sure everything's cut evenly and diced the same size. I'm not a fancy chef or anything, just a home cook, trying to help my family feel better. This little cold we're trying to fight off. All right, that'll do it. Looks about right. All right, we're gonna take some extra virgin olive oil, add it to the pan, and then we're gonna go ahead and add the carrots. Just grab, drop it in there, chop and drop. Just chop and drop. And the pot's already hot. We're gonna get a wooden spoon, and then we're gonna stir it all around. Get in there, stir, stir, stir. I think at this point we're gonna go ahead and season the veggies. We're gonna add a little bit of salt to get it going. I like to season every layer. That's really key. That way you know everything is well seasoned. A nice even coating of olive oil and salt to get it going. And we're just gonna saute these down until they're nice and tender. Of course, the carrot's gonna take a little bit longer than the celery, but no worries, they'll continue to cook in the liquid once I add the chicken stock. Just stir it all up and just kind of let it go for about 6 minutes or so. And you can always taste it to see if it's done. If it's too crunchy or too hard for your liking, let it go a little bit longer. Looks nice. All right. We're gonna let that go and I'll be right back. Okay, now we're gonna add the chicken. This chicken's already cooked. So now we're just gonna season the chicken up with a little salt, pepper, Italian seasoning. That way another layer is seasoned. That's what I like to do, season every layer. Let's stir this up. And our heat is still on medium-high. All right, let's grab our chicken stock. You're gonna need 2 of these, or if you have a 64-ounce carton, then just use the 64-ounce carton. This is 32 ounces. For this one, and then I'll use every drop of that, get it all in there. And this is chicken stock. You can also use chicken broth. I prefer using chicken stock. It's a little bit more flavorful. Broth to me is a little bit watered down. I prefer stock, so that's what we're gonna use. Let's stir all that in there. Get it all incorporated really well. Looks good. All right. You can already smell it. It smells good in here. We're gonna let this come up to a boil before we add our noodles. The noodles do not take long to cook, so we're gonna make sure this liquid is nice and hot and ready for those egg noodles. Shouldn't take but a few minutes or so. Probably gonna eat this tomorrow too for lunch, so hopefully there's some leftovers. We're gonna go ahead and add our egg noodles at this point. It's nice and hot and ready for them. Like I said, you don't have to use this whole package. You're gonna need more liquid if you're gonna use the entire package. I just reserved a little bit because I know after making this recipe several times, it's just 12 ounces of egg noodles is just too much. So stir it all in there and get those noodles cooking. And if you find that you don't have enough liquid, just add a little bit of water. Especially if you're using stock, adding a cup of water is not going to hurt it. You just want to give the noodles enough liquid to cook in. All right, we're going to let that go to about 7 minutes or so, and we'll check back in a minute. Now we have here a nice fresh lemon. We're going to cut it in half. I always like to use lemon or some type of citrus in my soups. I feel like the vitamin C always helps me get better. It just adds a nice little brightness to it, a little hint of flavor. It's not overpowering, just enough to make it taste nice and fresh. I love lemon. Lemon's my favorite. All right, stir that in. It's about ready. Got a bowl, a spoon, and I need to grab a ladle. Grab these crackers, we need those. Definitely need some saltine crackers with our soup. Nothing like chicken noodle soup with some saltine crackers. All right, we've got a ladle. We're gonna scoop it into our bowl. Look at that. Look at that broth. Nice and healthy and fresh. Okay, here it is. Super simple, homemade chicken noodle soup. It's ready for a bite. Let me go in and take a taste. That is so good. Nothing better. Delicious. Ugh. That chicken stock. Definitely better than chicken broth, let me tell ya. And that's it. That's homemade chicken noodle soup. And I hope my family enjoys it. And I hope your family enjoys it. Hope you guys like this recipe. If you did, click like and subscribe. I'll try to put up some more recipe videos for 2019. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks.